Vitality. The bans in that matchup was Vitality went for Nomad, and they also banned Echo. This time around, they're starting things off with an Ash ban. I just think that's for one man. We've talked about him so much. That is a counter ban towards, as we know, Alive.
Yep, that is definitely plan stop Alive in his tracks. They don't want him rushing him. We're also seeing the Capitao. So Capitao, a great operator for utility.
Yeah.
I think massively underrated sometimes in sort of lower levels of gameplay. He is different. You know, he does need to be used as part of a team. He does need to be used with coordination. Those asphyxiating bolts and smoke arrows in particular need to be deployed in the correct locations at the right time. But when they are, extremely powerful. So no surprise to see him taken out. We're also going to have Clash and Echo as our two defenders. So with no Capitao, we have the mirror for the downstairs hold demo. But something that we've actually seen recently is when Mirror is allowed, she's still not being brought as often as we've seen previously. I think because teams have just got so used to playing without her.
Capitao ban, good stuff from Supremacy. That is them doing their research, knowing that for Oregon, Capitao is a crucial crutch for the players of Vitality, especially for their executions. They can flame off particular angles on the laundry, or even in towards if you want to go for a kid's room, it's very strong. You also have the smoke grenades, or smoke arrows in that scenario without having to worry about ADSs. The Clash, very weird from Supremacy. The fact that they're then banning Clash and then letting Mirror open, you've just literally banned a weaker Mirror window. That's how I kind of see Clash sometimes, is that she works like a Mirror window. She can stand at a doorway, gain intel. You can't really do much to kill her. Unless, again, you know, Capitao's a thing, but Capitao's banned. But Nomad is now available for Oregon. This isn't good, because the amount of runouts that defenders rely on, and the amount of crucial avenues for flanks from roamers, they're now going to be all shut down from Nomad.
Yeah, we've certainly seen Nomad have a big presence on Oregon, much more so than some other maps, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see some real impact there from K6 on the Nomad. We'll see how that plays out, but like you say, such a fluid map is Oregon, particularly with roamers usually in the dorms and kitchen areas looking to rotate back to site. That can be extremely powerful. No surprises then, you called it before we started demo. Vitality going for the big tower hold to begin with, and if they get this straight off the bat, it is going to start. I think it's probably going to signal the start of a difficult night for Supremacy, but Alive just getting in there with Maverick and taking out that first Valkyrie cam, so that's going to be a great start for them, just denying that information. Not always easy to find on those rear walls like that. Deju's also pushing in quite quickly here, and we've got some good early aggression from Supremacy, both Alive and Deju's in the building already, and they're going to be looking to move upstairs. The drones have been ahead of them, so they are aware of roamers on the top floor. He does have two to contend with. He's just being careful about Valkyrie cams. And at the minute, Qual is just waiting in that kid's dorms for a peek towards the top of White Stairs. And for now, Deju's is just going to play this patiently. He's going to hold his angle. I think he's potentially waiting for Alive to just get himself up those stairs into the armory corridor and start challenging from there. 1 minute into the round, still 5 versus 5.
Supremacy also have not played Oregon this entire season, so there's nothing for Vitality to go off on and how Supremacy like to approach this map. For Supremacy, I think they're probably just going to play like they've done the entire season. Nice and slow to begin with, but they can turn up the heat real quick whenever it's called for it. They will start to attack this offsite hold in towards those kids. The reason why they're holding this, kids, is to deny access to anybody repelling on the big tower windows, because of course, you can stop that from kids. It just means that the attackers have to use time, utility, and manpower to make this successful. Spark will find tactics, but the refrag is there from beside. And still one man lurking inside a kid, but Deju's make quick work of him. Qual bites to dust as it goes into a 3 versus 4 with a minute to go. The action has begun, and Supremacy, they've come out on top. Now they have to go for their second execute, which is onto the main bomb site. Vitality, they have their spacings, one at the top of tier 3, one in tier 2, and one on the meeting side of things. So they've got a good spread. They can defend every way that Supremacy want to go for. But if Supremacy play their cards right, they could easily overtake and overcome any defender they want to go with just on sheer manpower alone.
Great smoke grenade just coming in there from the smoke and doing an awful lot of damage to DJs, also getting hit by a Legion at the same time. Like you say, Vitality well set up for the defense here, but there is no reason that Supremacy cannot take advantage of this early roam clear that they did so well and start to really apply some pressure to Big Tower. I'd like to see somebody potentially get in onto those windows now. As you said, Demo, they can do that safely with domes being cleared out. Poseidon getting in there with a kill onto Sneaky. That leaves us 2 versus 4, but that will be 2 versus 3 as Bibu takes the head off of Diju's. Time is going to be a real factor here as Alive moves in, gets the kill onto Brid. Alive with the second onto Bibu. The diffuser does not have to go down, and that is a good first attacking round from Supremacy, but let's not forget it was on the easier rear stage site.
Vitality, it's hard to call, but possibly if they had had Legion playing in the basement area and playing those back stairs, he could have been in a stronger position to try and stop everything that went down from Supremacy. They just kind of let them have meeting without any real force. Legion died for it. From there, Maestro and Smoke can easily secure tier 2. That was never going to be an option. But if they had Legion below on those back stairs, he could have impacted to stop the plant. That would have been the round dead and over. The offsite hold from Vitality, it was very awkward. They had one player inside of the generator and one player inside a cage. Valkyrie did great at getting that first pick. That's all she needed to do. But Jaeger not then being able to get a single refrag from that was the big letdown. If you're going to commit to a massive offsite hold, you need at least 2 for 2 if you want to get those trades, because then you also add on top of the value of the time that you get out of the attackers and some utility as well. But in that scenario, the Jaeger just didn't do his job. But we will head back to a much more familiar site. We're going to head to our downstairs defense. This is one of the more common bomb sites here in Oregon. Of course, all 4 we've seen be played. Really, only 2 have been considered strong bomb sites. The one we're seeing at the moment, and also that Kids dining in a bit of an awkward scenario. I think at the moment it's so simple for attackers to open up a wall and plant. That's like some of the easiest stuff you can do as an attacking side, so defenders really need to play on top of their game. And that's why I think Oregon does come into that 50-50. 2 good bomb sites for defenders, 2 not so great bomb sites. And Supremacy right into it, going for it. DJs already coming a bit of contact with that Legion. But still, we're going to see quick shots rattle back and forth. Alive also trying to get into the action. And we're actually going to see Spark get downed. But do they know that?
We are definitely going to have to see a better roam from Vitality as the night goes on if they want any joy from their defensive rounds. Bibu getting a good first kill on to DJs there, so that takes the Zephyr off the board, and that could be some very important utility coming into the later round here. Those lifelines can be extremely useful in trying to get that diffuser down. But as you said, we do have Sparks. He's downed at the minute on the Legion. Nobody has been able to go and get him picked up. They're obviously very aware of the potential for a push from White Stairs, but there isn't anybody there. We've got Alive holding the double window, waiting for the opportunity to take anybody out as they rotate to get him. So at the minute, we've got at least 2 of the defenders locked upstairs in that dorms area. Poseidon getting a kill on finishing the down Spark. So that leaves us with 1 at least up in the dorms area. So could Supremacy start applying a bit of direct pressure to site here? We've already seen the Jackal moving down main stairs. They're going to have to be very aware here of Qual coming through the meeting room area on the Maestro. If he does get on a flank with this LMG, it will be devastating. There is no question. Interesting to see Demo, even with Mirror available, she hasn't been brought.
No, but that's where you came back to the point you made in the earlier start of the game, where teams have been so adaptive to not playing with Mirror anymore, so they do not encumber that into their strategies. A lot of kills start to rattle out by Vitality. They have the upper hand. Red in a great position to try and stop this Jackal, who K6 on such low HP. Bibi wins that battle against Alive, and well, the call comes in, and Brid says hello, and finishes off K6.
Great players there from Vitality on the defense. Just use the upstairs roam well. They baited Spark out for quite a while, waiting for anybody to come and try and finish him, but ultimately that wasn't the case. He just got taken out, but they didn't panic from that. They were very confident, obviously, about the setup that they had downstairs, and they were quite happy to let Supremacy play onto that. Great C4 toss from Brid to deny the plant potentially in there, using that angle from the storage closet area just to sneak it round those shelves and get the job done. So that was a good start for his team, and then he just managed to move in, get another couple of kills and finish things off. Good second round from Vitality.
Oregon is a frag fest. If you want to win Oregon, you need to win your gunfights. Looking at the offsite room, we've seen great work coming in from Vitality, the good bait and switch. Unfortunately, like, they did lose Spark pretty early on. Like, he was dead within, what, 2 minutes 30? Sure, he went down, but he was out of the picture nonetheless. So for Supremacy, they just need to take the fight. They need to get up close and personal, and this is where I think if they have 3 people just pushing one guy, getting a refrag, sure they may lose a man, but they just need to take it to him, because we know what Bibby can do on a Jaeger. We know what players like Sneaky can do. He's proved that in the past. So many things going right for Vitality. Supremacy, sure, it's only 1 round. That has been the laundry, like we've talked about. A very strong bomb site. And whenever you combo a laundry defense with a very strong kids off-site room game, whenever you're wasting so much time, you play so into the hands of the defense, because really from that scenario, Vitality can just control the game from there. They're forcing Supremacy into positions they do not want to be in with very limited time. No options but to go down the stairs into a massive bottleneck with smoke grenades tossing left, right, and center, shotguns peeking at you. So many things going well for Vitality that round. But we head into our kids. Kids, much more of a crucial bomb site for the attackers, because there is numerous ways that you can attack it. You have a lot of options. Kids is a very big one that a lot of teams like to go for. Then there's also the standard open up the wall and generator, push in, go for the plant. But then I've also seen strategies where teams just 5-man jump in every window they can find. They take control of bottom floor. They use white as a main, white stairs as a main pushing force that cuts off a lot of rotations from defenders. There's a couple of ways Supremacy can go for this. But, like I said, Supremacy, if you want to win, you need to kill these roamers, and that's what I think they're going to go for.
Yeah, like you say, they just really don't have much choice about doing that. They're getting the information coming in now. The pings are coming from the drones. Alive there, just opening, asking for that wall to be opened up so he can get himself into dining and start making those challenges towards kitchen. And you can see here exactly how much importance Vitality are placing on these roamers, given the utility that's been expended down in kitchen. Alive getting a kill onto Sneaky through that Maverick call, so Sneaky indeed using the Maverick call to get the kill there for Alive, and that is just going to start to accelerate things here for Supremacy a little bit now. That clears out at least part of that kitchen area. K6 is able to move in towards meeting here, or in towards that kitchen corridor, which if he does, he will potentially get some joy. He's got another roamer down in there, and I think that will be Bibu on the Jaeger. As soon as they get him cleared out, that will be Qual going down on the Maestro as well. A second for Alive, and no, Bibu has now rotated back up the white stairs into sight, but will they notice Spark on that flank? He's going to try and move himself through the rotation potentially and get himself into the kitchen area. This could be the key for Supremacy here. Look across the hit points. Alive with another kill onto Brid. Great stuff, but Spark will run out, and as I said, that might just start to spark things into action for Vitality, but it could be too little too late as D-Juice manages to get a fantastic kill there. Nomad air jab will hit Spark as well, so that's going to give his location away, and it's surely going to be a matter of time now as he rotates towards white stairs. The diffuser does start to go down. This will almost certainly stick from D-Juice. There's not much that can be done, but Spark will get another for himself. That's now 1 versus 3. 2 kills for Spark. It's going to have to be an ace if he wants to finish this out. The diffuser is down, so he's on the clock, and it's a matter of time until K6 picks that one up and finishes the round for Supremacy. Very good attack from them there.
Like I said at the start of this match, if Alive gets 3 kills and dies, he has done his job. What did he do? He got 3 kills and died. Survivor rate doesn't matter if you're putting on big numbers, and that's kind of what we've seen from him this entire season. Another thing to add in, Nomad did the job. The Nomad air jab went off at meeting. They knew where he was. Had to play the round out from there. I think this comes back to the bans for both teams. Sure, you're nerfing Supremacy in terms of taking Ash away from Alive. But we've seen this from Joystick. Joystick and Empire. Ash was his main operator. Team started to realize, hold on a minute, this guy's pretty good with an R4C. Let's take that away from him and see him struggle. What does he do? He just switches on the Jackal and does the exact same thing. A fragger is a fragger no matter what operator you put him on. He will still do the same job. And again, you're putting him on the free speed. Maverick has a great gun that M4 hits so hard in terms of the rate of fire also is comboed with. So overall, the bans starting to let Vitality down by, I think, not banning that Nomad in that scenario.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Vitality now need to focus on shutting Alive down. We can see it there. Poseidon also having a good game so far, but Alive really is the engine for this team at the minute. And I think if Vitality can impact his game as much as they can, then they're likely to see a little bit more success against this Supremacy today. But when you've got a player like Alive that's going off, like you say, jumping in, getting 3 kills, it's just not easy to shut somebody like that down. And it's more difficult to shut people down on the attack. When you're attacking, you can recognize where people are and you can work to sort of seal them off, cut them off into areas of the map and then deal with them on an individual basis, you know, challenge them 2 or 3 at a time. But that's not going to be possible whilst they're attacking. These for the time being will get himself outside of that main door and just start draining in. We saw Supremacy have some good success here last time on their own clear and cleared out dorms very quickly, playing in from the double window area and the white stairs. But that attic is just going to be sealed off this time, and that was something that Supremacy did use last time. It was an access that they used towards site. A little bit more tentative this time. Supremacy certainly had kills on the board by this stage of the last round, but we're going to be a minute in now and no direct action from Supremacy just yet.
Supremacy are going to start to try and focus a lot of their pressure in towards that attic. Very crucial rotation for attackers and defenders alike. It gives you control of the meeting if you want to try and hold that as defender. But for the most part, for Supremacy, they are looking to kind of sanction off a lot of those defenders still lurking in towards the kids. Apart from Alive, this is where him playing as this kind of lone person can do so well. He has been supported, however, by Poseidon and K6. They've came off the positions they were playing last time, and what I come back to, if they want to win these gunfights, they just need to try and swarm these defenders, and they will do that. They trade the 1-for-1, but they've done the business. It's weakened the players of Vitality because they don't have that same intel going over towards that room side of things. And again, I think this has been a better room clear from Supremacy. They've only lost 1 player this time, and Qual, he's dead. Massive fragger on the Jaeger roll, but quite smartly from Vitality, they only sent Qual over for the kids' hold. They have decided to only leave 1 person and then play Spark as much more of a flexible position. Vitality with a C4 can be deadly. He can really shut down the round. He has been playing inside of meeting, but like we know, he can always drop below and try and play that downstairs, the bottom staircase area with that Nitro Cell to try and stop a plant.
Spark then, 45 seconds to go, just holding that meeting area as best he can. He's going to put some shots onto the Maverick just in case anybody's looking for a peek through angle, but he won't get any joy. Looks like a lot of the Supremacy pressure is now starting to mount on and around those windows and doors of rear stage. We can see they've got 1 man down in the basement, but other than that, everybody is playing a window or a door. They've got Dijus with the diffuser in hand, and they're going to need to start thinking about getting that down soon with the coming into the 15-second range. Sneaky with a great kill onto Poseidon. Tactis will trade that straight back out, and we still have challengers coming in. Bibu will get 1, but Tactis will trade that out onto Brid. That leaves us now 2 versus 2, but the diffuser does go down in all that confusion. Spark with a kill onto Tactis. Meanwhile, Bibu drops, so that now leaves us 1 versus 1. Dijus has this all to do. Spark just needs to get in and get that diffuser disabled, but Dijus is going to be looking to keep himself safe as best he can and wait until the right moment to make that challenge. Will Spark look to stick this, or is he just baiting him out? I don't think he has any idea that Dijus is actually on the east side, and he will sneak in and get the kills. Well defended from Dijus there as he quickly found himself as the last attacker to defend that diffuser.
Not really sure how Vitality let that happen. They have Spark in meeting, being uncontested with a Nitro Cell. That should have been a double kill, but the calls were not quick enough. Whoever was IGLing should have made that C4 call 2 seconds early. If he got it 2 seconds earlier, that's the round done. Diffuser doesn't get planted, he gets 2 kills on the trot of that. Unfortunate timing there. He thought that he was outside of the door. However, quite smartly from DJuice, pushes round to the backside where he was much more sneakily playing in towards the hands of Vitality. But anywho, we move on, and once again, another attack win for Supremacy. I don't think anybody would have called this, but this is what I'm talking about. They're taking the fights. That's all they're trying to do, is take the fights, win them. It weakens Vitality so much more. Vitality really rely on players like their Jaeger players, like Sneaky, like Qual, the people who do the damage. We've seen time and time again in this season, is that if Sneaky or Qual manage to get 2 quick frags, that's the round done for Vitality. As, of course, we have a nice French flag appearing, as this is the showdown of the French beasts.
So looking towards round number 5 then, we are 3-1 in favour of Supremacy, and I'm not too sure a lot of people would have predicted that coming into this fixture. Vitality been so solid so far through this Challenger League season, but they just don't seem to be able to find their feet here against Supremacy. They're losing the gunfights, Alive particularly, Poseidon as well, doing a real job of just getting in there and disrupting what Vitality want to do. They haven't been allowed to play their own game. Their own game has been shut down pretty much every round so far, and that is really damaging them. We are now on to the laundry site though, which is the only site that Vitality have won on defense so far. That is why they've got 1 on the board, and they did defend it extremely well. The roam game was dealt with again from Bibu takes the head off Alive through that Maverick hole, and that is a stark reminder that those holes work in both directions. The silence of that gadget is usually its strength. If a team has got other things going on, reinforcers, shotguns firing, and you don't hear that hole being opened up, it can be deadly. But Bibu was very aware of its position and gets a great kill from there. He turns around and puts that gun to better use again against Tactis with another great headshot from the T5 of Legion. Not messing about here, Bibu, in this round. I think he's just saying that, you know, come on, we need to steady the ship now. We need to get some more kills. We need to stop Supremacy from having their way on the roam game, and that is certainly what they're doing here. And they will hold this meeting hole area for as long as they can now.
This is the round over. They've done the damage. They haven't lost anybody. This is what I talk about. If the roamers get 2 kills, that's it, done. Alive's off the board. You don't have your main fragger. You don't have your Doug because you don't have your smokes. This is pretty much a lockout run for Vitality. This is just us now sitting here waiting for an outcome. We already know what. I'm predicting the future, Tim. That's what I'm all about. Look, Fakey Spark. Easy, easy, easy.
1 minute left to go then. K6 with a massive uphill job here. He is 1 versus 5. He's got everything in his favour that he possibly can have. He's full HP. He's got the diffuser in hand, but that's about all that he's got going for him. He's up against an almost full health Vitality team who just seem to have switched on this round. They've been different than we've seen previously. Bibu just getting those 2 good early frags. K6 will take a challenge there and will take some health for his trouble. It was Spark who was challenging him on the Bandit. K6 now going to make a more direct approach to site, taking the hit onto the barbed wire there, maybe just baiting Spark out. That was quite clever from K6 there, as there was a man down there who more than likely called out his location, and that pushed Spark forward. He will move round. Probably hears the footsteps of Sneaky and gets 1 onto him, switches to his pistol, will get the down onto Spark as well, so that leaves him 1 versus 3, but I think time is going to be the big factor here. He's only got 7 seconds left. Legion, smoke, all the utility being thrown at that corner before Qual manages to get that final kill on the Maestro for Vitality. Much, much, much better round from them.
Vitality did the job in the first minute. That was it. Clinical. This is what we've seen every single match from Vitality. If they have a lead, it's so hard for them to throw that lead. Haven't really seen many throws from Vitality this season. None that I can recall. What about you, Tim? Any Vitality matches you can recall where they have just totally threw around?
Not generally. They've been very, very solid so far this season. Like you say, if they get them first 2 kills of the round and they 5-3 up, I wouldn't like to say they've got a 100% win rate on those rounds, you know, because there's always the odd occasion, but more often than not, they are going to turn that round and put it into the bank.
The first time! Look, Mira.
Yeah, first time that we see Mirror from Vitality. They're obviously looking to mix things up, but to be fair, they've only won on one site. Let's not forget that. Last round was a better round for them, but they need to do something different.
Mirror for me on a kids just seems so easy to get rid of. Simply because if you look at Oregon, every single top 4 room is destructible from below. The mirror windows that you would place, one typically on white stairs and one inside of kids, you take control below, they're gone. I think the white stairs mirror is very strong in what it does in terms of locking down the generator and attic area. But a unique strategy from Vitality, they're going to put all their eggs in one basket, and that is putting both mirror windows inside of that kitchen. An old but gold strategy is putting a double mirror one beside each other. You open up one and then you just peek in and out. Risky, but we have seen it play off. The last time I think I've seen a double mirror strategy was Clubhouse, where you would put 2 mirror windows on the triple wall on Church. That's going way back to what, year 3 season, or year 2 season 3, year 2 season 2, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and like you say, it really has fallen out of favour. It is difficult to use, and it is often easily challenged and dealt with, but Vitality obviously think there's some value in it here, so we'll see what they are able to do with it. We've got Dijus and Poseidon just moving in quickly there and looking to get that wall open before the first minute is over. Alive doing what Alive does, getting in with a kill onto Qual, so that is going to take the mirror off the board. Early in the round, still 2 minutes to go, and Alive has got himself some nice control over the attic area there and is able to start pushing in towards meeting, and they're just really looking to clear out that side of the map. Obviously something that Supremacy have done very well so far is recognise the roam game and deal with it, so it looks like Alive is just going to drawn out the Legion there, sneaky with a kill onto Dijus. Alive looking for a wall bang but won't manage to hit one. He's probably going to have to take somewhat more direct action if he wants to put a challenge onto that Legion. The call out has been made to K6 though to tell him that the Legion is playing in meeting hall. Spark will get a kill onto Poseidon and a second onto Alive. K6 trades that one back out, but Spark will not mind at all as the Legion does his job with a nice double kill, and that leaves us in a 2 versus 3 situation for Supremacy here, and things are looking difficult indeed. Vitality will be kicking themselves if they don't come out of this. 3-3 going into their attacking phase.
2 versus 3, K6 and Braid both in such low HP. Tactics is going to hack into the phone system, and that means somehow hacking the phone allows you to get into the cameras. It's so unique. I love the fact that Dokkaebi is an operator. I could never... Would you have ever fall for an operator who could do that? I wouldn't.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Weird. No, it's a very weird operator, but boy, is she powerful in the right hands that we've seen so many times. That's the reason why we've seen that SMG-12 get nerfed, simply because Dokkaebi just running that gun was like a primary on its own. The drones will start to come in. All Braid and Bibu have to do is just sit back, sneaking, also holding on. They're going to try and run through the one door, but of course we know those smoke grenades are going to be there. Tactics does sprint through toxic fumes and will be ready for the bandit. Got those iron sights, the C75, not the strongest. And that will be a lockout round for Vitality. No hope for Supremacy. As we head into the half, 3 rounds apiece. It's Oregon. It's what we expected.
Yeah, we knew that if there was a map where Supremacy could potentially do something, Oregon was one of the options, just to take Vitality into gunfights, but ultimately not surprised to see Vitality just getting the legs underneath them there in those last couple of rounds and really starting to pick up the fights, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. The team picking up the gunfights, winning those one-on-one fights is the one coming out on top, and Vitality certainly starting to do that at least. So that will flip sides for us. We're going to see Vitality now moving on to the attack. We're going to see an early attempt at a defense of Laundry Room from Supremacy. They're going to be bringing the mirror, so it looks like we're going to have quite a standard hold of downstairs. Not too much of a surprise to me here, because I think, honestly, defense is where Supremacy are going to struggle more than attack.
For this map against Vitality, 100%. Supremacy over the course of this season, their defense have been a real shining point for me. I think back to the end game versus Supremacy. Supremacy were down 5 rounds to 1 coming out of their attacks. They managed to pull out all the way back. So there is so much potential for the defense side of things for Supremacy. You know, they managed to pull, what, like, maybe I think it was 5 defensive rounds straight on the bounce for Supremacy, so you have to kind of give credit to them for doing that. But overall, I think Vitality just have that quality that kind of sees them over the edge compared to every other team in the league. Their coordination, their team chemistry, their fragging potential is there. They have the makings of a Pro League team, which, benefit of the doubt, they are a Pro League team. You know, we know that. Sure, they fell out, but the fundamentals, I think a lot of people would still consider this team Pro League standard, and the way they're rocking this league, it proves to be so.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And let's, you know, yes, they did drop out of Pro League, but let's look at the overall quality of Pro League now. You look across those teams, and as Siege develops as an esport, the teams and the overall quality is just getting better and better. And we could probably argue for at least a couple of extra places in Pro League for a few of these Challenger League teams, and you'd still have the depth then coming into Challenger League in order to make a competitive league of it. So, yeah, no surprise to see teams of the quality of Vitality even potentially dropping away from it. But it's all about how you react. It's all about what you do once you've dropped out and how you fight your way back, and that's where the determination really starts to show. So looking back towards this fixture then, where Vitality will be looking to make a strong shout, finish this one off and really push towards getting themselves that Pro League spot back. We've got 1 minute gone off the clock and still no deaths as it stands, so we are 5 versus 5. It looks like Vitality have taken some good control of the rear stage area now. It looks like they're certainly favouring a rear side push rather than approaching that mirror. We know how powerful that mirror location is in the laundry stock room. Just a challenge potentially going to be made on that peak hole there in the attic from Qual, and that will allow him to open up, or at least start to open up, the hatch down into meeting. It looks like that Supremacy player has actually dipped away from that challenge into attic, but Qual not ready to give up that angle just yet, and if he holds on, there's always the chance for a little peak to be made, and that could be damaging. But a further minute gone and still no deaths yet. Vitality certainly building this attack slowly, waiting to get into position, and I think we're going to be seeing a bloodbath in about the next 30 seconds.
They have got control of meeting. This is a very Empire-esque style of things. Empire, one of the only teams I really know that always like to go for the backside of things. Vitality also fitting into that scenario, even though I know and I've seen that they can do both. Alive is going to have to start putting some pressure on. He's going to have to make the attackers work. No Nomad being brought by Vitality, so the Supremacy do have that luxury where they don't have to worry about the air jabs, but still all it takes is one man to do the business. Red will start to open up in towards construction, and they still have 4 grenades. I think maybe has used 2 of them, or at least maybe 1 at the most of it. Sneaky has his utility, along with those cluster charges and those concussion charges, but still holding control of making where he will see that Legion get ready to play up close and personal. Poseidon gets things started onto Brent, and here comes the push from Legion. Alive will win that against from Sneaky, but Qual above gives the cover and provides it. It goes into a 1 versus 2 as Bibby has been down to 1 versus 1. K6 for the clutch, and he gets it. Massive plays from the Mute, and that'll be all she wrote for round number 7.
Very well defended from Supremacy, and a late round bloodbath just as predicted. Vitality did some good work early in that round to get control over attic and meeting. I just don't really feel like they did too much with it. They got control there, and then they just held off until the last 20 seconds when they were then pushing onto site, which was stacked with defenders, and ultimately it cost them. And I think really, from what we've seen from Supremacy on the defense there, I think Vitality are going to have more joy if they can just play it a little bit more aggressively and be looking to push site by the end of that first minute, rather than just holding that control and trying to pick off the odd 1 or 2 before they make that final push onto site.
Supremacy, they have taken control of the lead once again for themselves, and they will be headed to that kids. Supremacy, for their defense, looked very strong. Maybe a bit of a poor time management from Vitality. I still don't get why they wouldn't bring the Nomad. Nomad would have done that job 10 times better. You have 3 air jams. You could put 2 on 1 door each for meeting, and then you could put 1 on the rotation hole being made upstairs. That's your flank covered. That's it. So I don't really get why then they're sticking 2 players to cover 1 player who's trying to go for a flank. It would just make more sense to bring a Nomad. That's why she was brought into the game. That's why what she's designed for, is to do that playstyle. But we head into our next round. Supremacy, they have upstairs to deal with, and Vitality, being a bit more spread out, not compared to the same 5-man spawn at the construction that what we seen last time. This time, much more spread out. More than likely, they're going to go for a bit of a split push. Maybe try and take control of Attic and Meat, and then have Brid rotate round and take control of the generator if they want to go for that. Or this could be a Kids, but without the Capital, that we know that it's really a big crucial point for the Vitality attack for a Kids push is that Brazilian operator. He's banned. He's not going to be here, so that may not be on the cards for them to deal with.
We can see there that Brid's making some good progress on the rear stage. He knows that at least top 2 tiers are clear, and he's going to be droning out that rear stage level as well. If he continues into meeting, he will spot. I don't think he just went far enough there. There we go. He did see the mute. So he's going to be looking potentially to make a challenge if he gets himself into that 2nd tier. He's at least going to open up Attic for the time being, and that's going to start giving him a peek through. But it looks like they could just be a mute jammer blocking those Hibanas there, and there's a ping goes out potentially for a Thatcher from Sparko to try and shoot it out from underneath, which we see there's a fear of Sneaky doing there. But given time, he will clear that mute jammer, I'm sure, and I think we just hear the breach going through into Attic there. So that's going to start to open up that meeting area. It's going to make it much more difficult for mute to sit in there if Sneaky can get himself through, and he can start to just get an angle from those stairs then potentially all the way through to the armory corridor. Another slow attack here from Vitality, very patient and looking to get that late round execute again potentially. Didn't pay off for them too well last time. They haven't dealt with either of the roamers yet, and this is potentially getting a little bit risky for them.
5 versus 5, this is exactly where Vitality want to be. Having all members alive a minute to go, they've established their control of the place they want to push in towards. But there is still roamers. The only thing that I think really would have pushed the players off Vitality over the edge would have been a pulse, and they would literally have to go, or else we know Vitality plant light, B4 from below ruins that potential. But certainly this Vitality roster can play quick whenever they need to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5-man push in and try and swarm the bomb site, take the gunfights, get the refrags, and then leave the roamers to try and do all the work. Goes into 30 seconds, Qual trying to hold control off the flank, sitting on main stairs. Knows that there is still going to be roamers downstairs because nobody has been killed yet, and he does hear somebody at the meeting door, so he knows to be ready for it. Here comes the mute, tries to swing around but holds his ground and wins the fight against the Buck. Even with the MP5K, a massive fight for K6. Bibu will find DJs as they start swarming the bomb site, but Poseidon is there for the refrag. Brid gets the defuse down, but not before alive inside of meeting. Manages to get the refrag. It's down to Spark. It's down to Sneaky. How well can they play? This is where moments are made. This is where legends are created. Sneaky on the attic window. Spark playing inside a bedroom alive. Finds another one for himself. It's down to Spark. A 1 versus 4 Supremacy. Surely have the retake. The defuse will start to be initiated. So much crossfire. So much cover. Mute gets killed, but that's not enough. Alive. Playing out of his skin. Finds Spark. And round number 8 goes for Supremacy.
Again, another great defense from Supremacy there. Vitality just not playing quick enough to beat this Supremacy team. 2 minutes into the round, all 5 of Supremacy still alive. Roma's not challenged. Yes, Vitality made a push onto site, and yes, they got the diffuser down. But ultimately, look at the risk that they were taking in getting the diffuser down. I think all 3 of them died within seconds of that diffuser going down, and it left 2 to hold from very difficult locations. And ultimately, Supremacy did a very good job of closing that round out. For me, from Vitality, we need to be seeing more aggression. And how about that demo? No surprise, we're going to see that Nomad brought out in round number 9.
Finally, Vitality have realized that the roam game from Supremacy have been too strong. On a map like Oregon, Vitality like to play very close and control. They only take what they need. It comes back to that checklist of things. Vitality will push in with what they've got. They don't like to do the extra effort because they want to save all of their utility for the final push. Doesn't work out on a map like Oregon because there is so many ways defenders can have that roam game being proven to be too strong. They left Attic open for that reason. They had roamers downstairs. So many things. Biggest kill would have to have been Buck losing that gunfight against the Mute. That was it. That was the pinnacle crutch. If Buck had won that, he could have denied access to the Legion. Legion, as we know, got 3 kills from that. 1v1 gunfights. It just shows one gunfight changed the outcome of that round. Unbelievable.
Certainly did, and like you say, it was a fantastic challenge, and Supremacy
Shouldn't have won
certainly...
it. He should not have won it.
No, he never should have won that. Like you say, he even started firing first. He just ultimately missed his shots and got hit with a headshot. So looking at round number 9 then, we're going to have an early Nomad air jab placed out there on the main door to stop any run out from there. It looks like maybe they're going to be used more to cover run outs than potentially covering the flanks possibly. We'll see how that develops. Still 2 remaining, so those could be placed inside the map. Bibu's going to get straight onto that draw now and start droning things out. This is going to be the real test for Supremacy. Get the win here on a difficult dining site. Guarantee yourself the draw, and I honestly can't see Vitality coming back and taking that draw.
It's going to be a mighty feat for Vitality if they do manage to do so. Knowing Vitality, they probably want to go undefeated. Another team who came from Challenger League also went undefeated. They're now sitting undefeated in Pro League. They want to try and possibly recreate that. But Empire, as we know, different caliber of team to anyone in the world. The most unique playstyle I've ever seen. You know, basically Empire play the exact same way every round and still win. I don't know how they do that. But Vitality kind of have that similar playstyle. They like their signature pushes, but the way that they execute them so well, it's very hard to overcome. And on a bomb site like Dining, this just fits in the Vitality's playstyle. Slow, methodical, they take what they need. They have the execute, they have so much utility, they overwhelm the defenders. Really from there, that's all she wrote.
Brid then in the small tower, just looking to see if he can get a view into site potentially. Just going to do a bit of drone work and looking to challenge. They've got the plant spot open and available to them. The soft wall to the side has been opened up. We're going to see a very quick attempt here. This is much more what is required from Vitality, just getting in there, getting good map control and then doing something with it. The C4 will not be close enough and the diffuser will go down from the Hibana of Brid. He will be finished off. We've got an absolute flurry of kills there, bringing us to 2 versus 3. D-Juice will be taken out by Sneaky, and that leaves us 1 versus 3. K6 has it all to do here, and this is going to be a massive struggle. He does get the first, though. That brings us to 1 versus 2. He knows where the next is on Dining Door. There's the drone, and he takes it out. So the air jab coming in clutch, no doubt, as well. Just reducing his time even further. So he'll put that smoke grenade out there just to prevent access while he makes the challenge on the small office window. But ultimately, it is just too much of a job for K6 to do as Qual moves in through the Dining Door and will get that final kill to close things out for Vitality. Essential round for them to win there, and that brings them back to 5 versus 4, I believe we're on now.
I think we'll be seeing a full distance here on this map. Probably we will see all 12 rounds. I think Vitality, with that win, they could have momentum. Comes down to this laundry. How well can they recumber from what they had last time? What can their redemption round be for themselves? Supremacy had an excellent roam game. Vitality just lacking. I think that the fact that they had 2 people watching flanks for 1 person was odd to me. It really crumbled their full potential in terms of pushing and taking control of bomb sites. They should know it's a laundry, and yet they're still not taking that Nomad that we've talked about.
That's it. They've obviously not recognised the problem from the last attack on Laundry, their demo, and that was, as you say, dealing with... One way or another, you've either got to deal with the roamers, or you've got to stop them hitting you on the flank. It's either or, and like you say, the Nomad does a job whereby you can potentially actually leave the roamers out there, leave them in the cold, and just play 5 versus 3 on site. But with the Nomad air jabs well placed, you stop the roamers being able to surprise you on the flank. So they've not really left themselves that option. So what I need to see from Vitality here is recognising where the roamers are and challenging them directly. They need to do what Supremacy did very well to them, and that is get in and get those first 1-2 frags, clear the roamers out, and then they can approach site 5 versus 3, 4 versus 3.
Could Supremacy be the giant killers? Could they do what Penta did to Empire? Can they be that team? I'm sure that everybody inside of EU Challenger League would love to see Vitality finally fall, as no team has yet to beat them at this stage. Supremacy, quite an interesting tactic compared to the first time they went for. They will try and hold big tower, but no utility. D-Juice has no ADS available to him, not even a deployable shield, nothing to really support him. So Vitality want to go for that push in towards that big tower, then they're going to have to do that. But Vitality, they've changed tactics, they've changed up their strategies, and they will be going for a west side sweep. So the reason why they're doing this is to take control of these roamers, but K6, another peek onto Qual. The exact same battle that happened inside of that kid's defense has happened again, and somehow the MP5K has came out victorious. Will he go for another peek or just try and bide his time? He's done the damage alive. Tap Spark. AFK it seems to be. And this is crumbling for Vitality. This could be it.
Certainly not looking promising for them. They've not really dealt with these users. As you commented, he's up there with no utility. It's quite a soft hold of Big Tower, really. No deployable, no ADSs to really help him out, but it doesn't matter because Vitality are choosing not to challenge him, and that could really start to damage them in the late round, potentially. Bibu now holding an angle out there to White Stairs. He's aware that he's got a defender there, K6. We already know K6 is willing to take on these angles, and he's hit the kill on it twice, so Bibu certainly needs to be careful. He will just look away at the wrong time there. K6 moves in and Bibu will get the kill though, so that brings us to 4 versus 3 in favour of Supremacy still. The defenders have got a job to do here. Legion is just holding himself in that bathroom area, and he's going to be flashed now and challenged by Sneaky, who will move in and get the kill onto Alive. Goo Mines hitting Bibu left, right and centre at the minute, but it's not going to be too much of a problem for him. Vitality now have got top floor control, but look at what the Romans have done. 40 seconds remaining and still 3 defenders on site. This is not going to be straightforward for Vitality from here.
Vitality have managed to open up the hatch even though there has been a mute jammer, and that's because Supremacy did not shotgun that wall. It allows Thermite to have the explosive extend to the floor and blow up the hatch, regardless if there's a mute jammer or not. An error from Supremacy, and that could potentially cost them this round. 15 seconds to go, the plant will have to come in, but the smoke, the toxic babes will start to come in. Red is going to have to drop the hatch because he has no hope of getting down those staircases. He will try and opt for it, jumps up in towards the wash machine, and this is where the push has to come in from Supremacy. Tactics finds the lone Bibu, finds the straggler, and that's all she wrote for round number 10. An easy execute off the retake for Supremacy. Vitality, they drop 2 points, and could they be on for their first loss this season?
Essential kill there coming in from Tactics onto Bibu, who was moving around for a rear push just to try and create a pinch there. He dropped the hatch from meeting into the electric room, I believe, and he was just looking to apply some pressure to the other side of site, maybe get in and challenge that mirror closet. But Tactics, reading the danger, turned round, got the kill, and then that just allowed all 3 to focus on the plant that was going down at the bottom of main stairs. Very well played from Supremacy, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think Vitality just leaving it a little bit too late in the round. It's not to say that executes late in the round can't work, but what it is to say is that they are not working today for Vitality, and I think, again, they just left it to that last 30 seconds to try and get the diffuser down, and it was just too much for them to do.
Vitality, I don't know. I think they're just not used to playing against this Supremacy crazy playstyle that are just running at them. This is what I said. If Supremacy want to win, they just go for the kills. Alive, doing what we expected him. 12-8 as it stands. K6 as well. He's just unbelievable this match. He has been peeking everything, challenging angles. He has no need challenging, and just gets it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, K6 having an absolute field day on those. We've seen 2 great kills come out from him. Qual must be absolutely cursing him at this point. 1 on the double window, 1 at the bottom of main stairs. And I'm sure Qual is going to be questioning his confidence with that after K6 has got 2 absolute belters. But we are on to match point then, round number 11. Supremacy just need to hold on for this round. They're going to be taking the Dorm's objective, so they've got a strong objective to do it with. They've already won this on the defense. Vitality certainly need to change up what they've been doing, like you said, Demo, maybe a playstyle that they've just not encountered yet and maybe just aren't too sure how to react to tonight.
Vitality just not up for it. They're not looking for the fight. They're not adapting. I still don't get why they're not bringing Nomad. If the players of Supremacy are looking to play aggressive, with roamers who are running about, doing anything they can to upset the Vitality, polished, clean attacks, Nomad would be the perfect one for me. It shuts down any form of momentum from a roamer sends you right back. You're going to be freaking out. Oh, am I going to die right now? You could even get sent into a Claymore. We've seen that before. Bebu's trying to repel. I don't even think he repelled. I think he was on his drone. Just get C4'd off it. Unfortunate.
Great early kill there. Great use of utility. If you're going to throw a C4 out there and you manage to get a kill on the end of it, it feels horrible because you know how valuable it is. And, you know, it's maybe 1 in 5, 1 in 10. So Supremacy really hitting the stride at this point. And I don't honestly know what Vitality are going to do to change things around here. I think it is just too little too late. They've got 2 cracks at the whip here of Supremacy to get this finished off. And they've got a good site to do it on. Don't forget, if they lose this site, they can come back and try again. So it is going to be very, very difficult for Vitality to turn this around. That said, if any team in the Challenger League at the minute can do, I would expect that it would be Vitality. They've yet to clear out the roamers from downstairs. We've got Alive and Poseidon, I believe, downstairs. Tactis will be downed in the meanwhile, so that is now going to give a potential opportunity for Vitality to start thinking about getting in through those kids' windows, and playing the objective and getting a plant down is something that we've seen they've been keen to do so far. We're going to see DJu's taken off the board there. Tactis has been revived up to 20 only, so that is going to leave him very, very damaged for the rest of this. And we've got Poseidon just trying to hold on, and he's waiting for anybody who is potentially going to repel in from those windows to take them out. And here it comes, but Tactis moves away just at the wrong moment there. He was smoked out, so didn't have too much of a choice. Spark with a good kill onto Tactis downstairs. Qual with one of his own onto Alive. Things starting to fall apart for Supremacy on this defense. Brid finishes one off, and that leaves K6 to do the whole job. He's down to 20 HP. He gets 1 kill, but will be challenged downstairs, and the challenge will finish him off as Brid gets that last kill whilst the diffuser goes down, and that is a much better attacking round from Vitality.
Vitality that round, I think, have learned from their mistakes that they made previously. The first round Vitality attacked kids. They were possibly a little bit unsure if they wanted to go for that signature kids bedroom push that they normally go for in Oregon. But the fact that the Brazilian operator Capital has been banned out by Supremacy simply to stop those pushes from happening, they're a little bit unsure if they could actually pull it off with the operators that they have. They went instead for a generator push that the last round they did play. Didn't work out. The retake potential was there from Supremacy. This time, Vitality went back to their roots. They went back to what they're known for. Even without having the crossbow, they still made it work. And it just shows the quality that Vitality have. They've done that push countless times, I'm sure. And it works well. Supremacy could not deal with it. Their roam presence was not there this time from Supremacy because they were setting up, still thinking it was going to be a gen push.
Supremacy now coming into their final attempt to close this match out, and don't forget, Demo, I did pick this one as a potential upset. I went for Supremacy. You know, come on, boys, proved me right. I'm not sure. Vitality just looked a lot sharper on that attack there, and Supremacy having to come back to this same site. I wouldn't be surprised to see a draw here, but that said, Supremacy have adapted well. I don't think they've actually lost 2 rounds in a row, at least not on the defense yet. So that's, again, going to play into their mentality, if nothing else, to be able to just adapt, change things up. They're going to be ready for that kids push potentially. Don't think Vitality will do that. I don't think it would be the right thing to do that. I think Vitality definitely need to mix things up a little bit. We're going to see some early aggression from the west side. We've got Maverick and IQ coming in from that side. That's Sparks and Qual going to be working in towards that small office area, towards that bathroom area, just to see if they can pick up any of those roamers that we saw from Supremacy last time.
I'm still a bit pessimistic in terms of lack of pulse. I think Pulse is one of the strongest operators that defenders can really play with. That's why he's a big ban for a lot of teams, because he provides that intel, combo that with a nitro cell, you're asking for trouble. For kids bedroom defense, if you know a team wants to try and plant inside a B, inside a kids, holding kitchen with a pulse is that #1 strategy. That's the one you want to go for, because it forces A, for Vitality to not have to worry about a C4 from below, and B, they then have to go and take control of below to stop that from happening. I think Pulse's the utility he brings and provides the intel is second to none. He has that C4, has a free speed. UMP, I think, is a solid gun in terms of no recoil, hits pretty hard. The RPM, of course, is a little bit lacking, but overall, strong operator. That's why we see him being banned out. There's specific players who get their pulse banned away from them just because they're that good on pulse.
So 1 minute 30 to go. We've got one player off the board, which is Sneaky, and that leaves Supremacy with 5-on-4. And my concern, if I was a Vitality fan now, would be that they are playing this round slowly again. We've seen that time and again, and we've seen them fail to execute in the last 20 to 30 seconds of the round. They've still got 1 minute and 10 left to go, but they certainly need to start building some momentum. There has been no pressure put onto this site as of yet. 2 minutes, and the defenders have been able to sit there relatively safe. We've got Alive potentially going to come together with Brid on the rear stage. I think Brid's aware that he's there, but again, as long as Alive remains alive in this basement, it wastes more and more time, because it means that Vitality will be reluctant to start pushing towards site without having dealt with a player like Alive. We can see Poseidon downstairs in kitchen, no challenge being made onto him. That's a potential C4 as well. As you said, Demo doesn't have the direct feedback that Pulse has, but can still do the same job. Vitality just not really doing anything to clear this roam game here.
Mines, that's a great way of gaining intel, even though you don't see it physically. That's why we sometimes see Legion on a room game, because he can just keep regenerating his gadget. Simple enough. Still wonder how he keeps generating goo mines. Big wonder to me, but hey, we'll rock with it. As we head into the final 10 seconds, 4 versus 5. Vitality have to flood the bomb site. Brid's nowhere near. He's still trying to fight a roamer, as it's going to be a bloodbath on bomb site. Alive does find Brid, and it's going to be all over for Vitality. They take their first loss. Supremacy pull off the upset. The French battle, the rematch. This time, same teams. Different map, different score.
I honestly don't know what Vitality expected in that last round. You commented on it, Demo. 20 seconds left to go. Their only option, I think it was 10 seconds left to go. Only option was to flood the bomb site. And we've got Qual downstairs in meeting, absolutely nowhere near the bomb site, just getting taken out by Alive, who we'd commented on and kept himself very well in the game at rear stage. They had no option but to jump in double window, which is practically suicide on that site with 10 seconds left to go and 3 defenders on site. I just really don't... Vitality just didn't seem to have any idea in that last round of how to attack them.
Supremacy, what can you say? It was the map that I think they had the best chance on. Their fraggers were up for it. They were really on top of their game. Alive, who we expected to do big things, well, he showed up. You ban his Ash. Doesn't matter. He will still frag. Literally the joystick scenario that we've talked about. K6, the gunfights he was winning, should never have won. There's a crucial gunfight, which gave his team a win. You know, if that gunfight went the other way, I think Vitality could be sitting here with a win themselves. But you have to give credit to Supremacy. It was a very back and forth Vitality. They took numerous rounds on the bounce. The Supremacy came back all the way to round number 12. But boy, what a match. For Vitality, we know they don't care. They're saving strats, guys. That's what they're doing. They're saving strats for playoffs. They don't care. But nonetheless, a loss is a loss. They will not go undefeated inside of the regular season. And Supremacy, well, now this just messes up the standings even more so.
Yeah, it really does. It throws them right back into the mix, picking up a solid 3 points there. I'm sure if you'd have offered them a draw before the match started, they'd have taken it and, you know, got that 1 point just to try and drag themselves back into things. But 3, you know, that's a real result for Supremacy there.
Yeah, well, that is going to be a round match number 2 done for this evening, as we will be headed into match number 3 coming up very soon, guys. So please do not go anywhere. It's going to be Eminem versus, yeah, again, another French side. We're getting all the Frenchies tonight, and it will be extreme. So, go into a quick break. Until then, guys.